This is breaking news.
Week in TV. Miriam, death of a reality star. The Tattooist of Auschwitz, A Man in Full, Shardlake, Michael Palin in Nigeria. Review. 5 years ago, Mike Thalassides, a 26-year-old semi-professional footballer and one-time Love Island contestant, became the estimated 38th reality TV participant around the world to have taken their own life. The 37th, a month before, was 38-year-old Miriam Rivera, who was the subject of last week's 3-part Channel 4 documentary Miriam, Death of a Reality Star. The reason it was Rivera, among this unfortunate group, who was selected for 3 hours of hand-wringing television was the same as why, as a 23-year-old woman, she was hired for the 2004 Sky One series, There's Something About Miriam, because she was a transgender woman. In the Sky series, 6 rather laddish young men were picked from hundreds of applicants to compete at an Ibiza villa for Rivera's affections, a romantic week on a yacht and £10,000. The novelty twist was that they didn't know that she was transgender, or, as the Sky narrator indelicately put it, that she was as much Eve as Steve. Rivera never underwent surgical reassignment. In the feverish post-Big Brother atmosphere in TV back then, when no entertainment concept was deemed too tasteless or exploitative, this self-evident car crash duly received a green light. Keen to make a name for herself and encouraged by her friend and creative director, Rivera gladly signed up. Reality TV is a phrase that has blood meaning from the word reality, but let's face it, reality itself hasn't helped. She grew up in Mexico, where her father tried to exorcise the girl out of her, then moved to the U.S. to find success. Compared by the same friend to Princess Diana and Marilyn Monroe, she thought fame offered the answer. She modeled, worked as a stripper, then in porn, and was in an all-trans girl band. But the Sky series was her big opportunity. To no sane observer's surprise, it was a disaster. The young men sued the production company. Rivera was pilloried in the press, and the series, with its excruciating denouement, was later disowned by all concerned, or nearly all. One of the original production team, Joe Jusen, who might have been sent from central casting for the role of brash TV exec, insisted the big reveal was entirely ethical. Rivera briefly tried her luck in other reality TV shows, but fame or notoriety quickly vanished. She got married, became involved in sex work, and finally, her death took place in suspicious circumstances. Some suspect she was murdered. Who was to blame for this unhappy story? The documentary suggested various culprits: transphobic societal attitudes, Rivera's father, and the Sky series. All no doubt played a part, but so too did her hunger for recognition. That, of course, is what reality TV feeds off. The only contribution of Remy Blumenfeld, the producer behind There's Something About Miriam, to Channel 4's documentary was a carefully worded written statement. But in an earlier interview, he attempted to shift responsibility for the show's problems onto the young contestants, nobly regretting that the men felt that somehow their masculinity had been called into question because they'd been attracted to a woman who was trans. It was such a slippery and cleverly disingenuous lament that it suggested a special talent for self-justification that must surely come in handy in the ruthless world of formatted reality. Reality TV is a phrase that has blood meaning from the word reality, but let's face it, reality itself hasn't helped. How, for example, can you depict the reality of Auschwitz? If you came anywhere close, it would be unwatchable. And if you were to make it watchable, you betray the experience of the survivors, never mind the 1.1 million who were killed in that earthly hell. Then again, many people nowadays believe the Holocaust was no different, morally or in practice, to the terrible suffering seen in Gaza. Its historical uniqueness is in danger of being subsumed by outrage at present-day events. I don't think The Tattooist of Auschwitz, Sky Atlantic, will do much to arrest that process. Based on Heather Morris's best-selling novel that has been criticized for significant inaccuracies, which in turn was based on Auschwitz survivor Lael Sokolow's aged memories, it's full of well-fed-looking prisoners in bad pajamas speaking English, regardless of their assorted nationalities. Yes, it's a love story, but while love may conquer all, it can't in this instance capture the horror of the conditions in which it flowered, much less rise above it. There are few actors who are more fun to see getting their teeth into a part than Jeff Daniels. He's well cast in A Man in Full, Netflix, a toothsome 6-part adaptation of Tom Wolfe's literary blockbuster.